Eat It and Like It is brought to you by Pride Pools and Spas, celebrating 4 decades serving the coastal empire. It's not hard to see growth in this city. Anywhere you look, there's construction. People are buying property here. Businesses are setting up shop. Equally as important are the tourists that are visiting Savannah and the reasons why they are. When you consider how much money is spent in Savannah every year by any number to the close to 14 million tourists who visit this city, it's not hard to see why they come here. Some people love the history, others love the natural beauty, or maybe the beach. It all fits. Travelers have been stopping off in Savannah for a very long time to get something to eat. Paula Dean and Miss Wilkes' boarding house have kept them happy for a pretty long time. But the kind of visitor that makes it to our historic district is absolutely changing. Culinary tourism might just be one of the most popular forms of travel these days. Sure, summer vacation will always consist of piling the family in the back of the station wagon and heading to the beach for a week or so, but other people are traveling based on the kind of experiences they can have in a restaurant.
Absolutely, and foodies, what we call foodies, they do their homework if they're going somewhere. Where are we going for lunch? Oh, we have to go there for dinner. They'll plan their vacation around that.
There's that word foodie again. Some embrace it, others find it rather pretentious. It doesn't need to be, it's just a word to describe the kind of person that will travel 100 miles or so out of their way for a great meal. A lot of people will. The internet has obviously changed the way people travel and experience both familiar faces and new places. Same goes for the popularity of food on television.
Well, there is, and I think not only in the restaurant scene, but look at our grocery stores, Smith Brothers and Lucky Market and Whole Foods. Savannah, the Savannah that I moved to would not have been able to not only support it, but I don't think there was the interest or the knowledge.
It's getting bigger and better and bigger and better, and keep going. Let's keep going. More restaurants popping up, and there's more food, but on every level.
The growth in the popularity of food in our region has opened the door to an event that has already become one of the city's largest celebratory events.
We're probably the 3rd largest economic factor as far as a festival in our city. St. Patrick's Day is still the big one. Rock and Roll Marathon, simply because they sell so many rooms and then you have so many people that are coming in. That's the number 2, but we're a big number 3. And we also know that our clientele is spending a lot more money per average than some of the other activities. There are people here that they want to try as many restaurants as they can.
Coming up on Eat It and Like It, behind the scenes with the Savannah Food and Wine Festival. We're talking to some of the chefs you'll see from some of the city's best restaurants.
Savannah does have a lot of different events, especially philanthropic events. We do a fundraiser for my son's school, on Tybee, different things. Like I said, we only have so much time and we have to schedule things in, but this is really important.
We'll also talk to the people behind making these events on par with anything you will find in America.
We were, initially told the results of the study that we should focus on bringing in big name talent, where we were hearing from our local partners, we need to be showcased as well. So I think we've done a really good job this year of blending those lines and making it really important to bring our local chefs in.
Eat It and Like It. We'll be right back.
Our style has evolved. We like to mix the modern with the traditional. I'm Rule Joyner, and welcome to 24E.
I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience.
Planning that backyard tailgate party this fall? Find your Big Green Eggs at Pride Pools and Spas, celebrating 40 years in the Savannah area. Savannah's best frequent diner program is actually in Sandfly. Driftaway Cafe's rewards program is the fastest way to free food and drink while enjoying one of the area's most popular dining spots. Picking up points is easy. You make a purchase, you get credit for it. Go online and write a review, you get credit for that too. Points add up quickly, and next thing you know, you're saving a ton of money on meals like these. There's no cost to join. In fact, you get rewarded for joining. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Driftaway Cafe to find out more and sign up on the spot, or you can call Driftaway at 303-0999. Driftaway Rewards, your fastest route to free food. Tell them you didn't like it, say. In 3 short years, the Savannah Food and Wine Festival has already become one of the city's finest events. It didn't just happen overnight. The history in a nutshell is pretty simple. With the food scene beginning to bubble around here, some whispers began around late 2012. 9 short months later, Savannah had its first official Food and Wine Festival and really hasn't looked back.
From the very beginning, we talked about creating a food and wine festival that we as Savannians would be proud of and that people that all over the country would want to come partake in. And we're certainly seeing that.
Michael Owens is co-founder of the week-long event. He and director Jan Gorley are the 2 people most in the trenches, if you will, when it comes to bringing this culinary event to life.
Definitely easier. It's the festival's gaining its own momentum. We've got major sponsors that are knocking on our door now.
Obviously, that is a good thing. You can't have a festival without support, but equally as important is making sure the event's visitors can enjoy something that appeals to everyone.
The Rising Star Chef's dinner at the Smith Brothers Butcher Shop sold out first. So we're seeing people want to have something more than a white tablecloth, although the James Beard Foundation Celebrity Chef Tour dinner will always break that mold because everybody wants to be a part of that.
Yeah, they do. The Celebrity Chef Tour dinner at the Mansion on Forsyth Park every year is a signature event in one of our city's most beautiful venues. But the challenges to make it perhaps a little more affordable to everyone are there as well. Taste of Savannah is one of those events. This year it will be held on November the 14th at the Georgia Railroad Museum. Samples from dozens of area restaurants, sips from any number of beer, wine, or spirit distributors.
Every year it's getting a little bit bigger, our attendance gets up a little bit more, but when we're also seeing people come in from much further away.
Which is clearly the goal here and makes shopping Savannah to other sponsors and more importantly chefs a little bit easier every time out.
A great example was a couple of weeks ago in New York where I'll pull out my business card and introduce myself, and immediately somebody will look at the card and say, "Ooh, Savannah." And half my sell is already made because they are so excited about seeing Savannah if they haven't been here or coming to Savannah. The brand itself is a huge drawing card.
Jan spends time at any number of food festivals across the region and the country. I've seen her up in Atlanta, I've seen her in New York City. Enjoying herself, of course, but also name-dropping little old Savannah in an attempt to grow this event right here. And anyone can see it's working.
The festival has its own reputation now of not just being quality and culinary excellence with the James Beard Foundation influence, but it says that most of the talent that have been involved they talk to each other. And Savannah Food and Wine Festival already has a reputation of being fun. and being something that they want to be a part of. I am really excited about Publix as our presenting sponsor because they are a wonderful partner in that not only financially as a sponsor, but also in store. We're going to have shelf talkers that basically say it's seen at the festival, the week before and week of the festival, with Georgia grown products, with our wine partners.
That's pretty incredible in year 3, really. Chefs I've spoken to across the region are hearing more and more about Savannah. Some are signing up to get involved a year in advance. Others are paying a little closer attention to our area than that.
We've got a lot of connections with chefs throughout the region, and as far north as New York. We hear that a lot. We talk about that a lot with those chefs. They approach us and ask us how the industry is down here, and we try to make that fit. As a matter of fact, we invite them to become a part of the festival in any way, and we'll take them around and we'll show them where opportunity lies in our city, because we think that absolutely for our town, our best days are ahead of us.
I've been a part of many events, and sometimes the first year, second year, tremendous struggles. You guys have done a great job. Your city should be proud.
All of that potential economic growth, certainly great news for the region in the big picture, but it's also impacting the city's bottom line right now.
Year 1, it was $1.7 million. It was $1.7 million in new spending. Year 2 was 5.1. So we certainly more than doubled that economic impact. People are coming in and they're taking hotel rooms, and they're not just coming to food and wine events. They're going to our attractions. They're visiting our museums. They're taking part in our retail experiences all over the city, and they're eating in our restaurants.
Well, where we see this festival now is what we projected for year 5. So we're hoping that with all of the venues that we have locked down and the partnership agreements that we have locked down, that we can become very much like a mini New York City, where we obviously don't have that sort of depth, but we do everything right. We do everything right, and that's the track we're heading on.
How about some of those people actually doing the cooking?
There's room for even more, if you ask me. There's more room for diners, there's room for delis, there's room for breakfast joints, there's room for fine dining, casual fine dining, you name it. Seafood house, steakhouse, name it. And that's what's gonna bring the next level, as people recognizing that Savannah is the next booming food town in the South.
In the kitchen with one of Savannah's best kept secrets at Noble Fair. Join us for the 2015 Savannah Food and Wine Festival, November 9th through the 15th. Plenty of tickets still available at SavannahFoodAndWinefest.com. Savannah's restaurant scene didn't just bloom overnight. There have been any number of chefs who chose to make their home here, serve up great food, and have watched the city's food scene really grow in around them. The Old Pink House is one of the first names anyone will mention when you ask for a restaurant recommendation in this city. Its quality and charm have really become synonymous with Savannah, but for every spot you fight to get into, there's an off-the-beaten-path spot that very quietly gets it done every single night. Noble Fair is one of those places, and Chef Patrick McNamara has pretty much seen it all.
Oh yeah, what's amazing is, you actually, now you got people who know how to say foie gras.
Patty Mack, as he's known in the back of the house, is a Johnson & Wales grad back when they had a campus up in Charleston. Instead of setting up shop there, he and his wife Jennifer decided to come down here to Savannah and open up this spot. Almost a decade later, they're chugging along, growing their following, and watching the scene in this city grow up.
You know, what's really good about more restaurants coming to this town, first of all, it brings talent, if you ask me, and also it levels the par, and everybody needs to practice a little harder and concentrate to set the bar a little higher.
That's a common theme among all restaurant owners and chefs in the area. They believe better quality around them will make for a different experience citywide.
I argue with old Johnson Whalers. Charleston is a better food town after J&W left. But what was amazing about what J&W did there was spawn all these chefs since 1986 to 2006. That year, that spans, and they're all there and they're all doing great, because where usually you graduate from, you usually stay.
Right.
Or, hey, you fell in love with this local chef, or hey, I really love this town.
Which is great, but even with all the growth this city has experienced on its food scene, Pat believes there is much more room for growth.
There's room for even more, if you ask me. There's more room for diners, there's room for delis, there's room for breakfast joints, there's room for fine dining, casual fine dining, you name it. Seafood house, steakhouse, name it.
Those are the things that excite chefs more than anything else. Creative food popping up all around them.
It's getting bigger and better and bigger and better, and keep going. Let's keep going. New Orleans already had theirs. Charleston's enjoying theirs. Savannah's next. That's the trifecta, in my opinion.
That's part of why you'll find Patty Mack and other A-list chefs at the Secret Savannah Speakeasy dinner on November the 12th. Noble Fare's way of chipping in on the growth of Savannah's culinary scene. Coming up,
It's great, and it's not because we're doing anything fussy. It's just, I think our flavors speak for themselves, and we put a lot of thought into what we're putting on the plate.
the grande dame of food in Savannah. Never been inside Elizabeth on 37th? You will after the break. Trust me, they don't bite. Eat it and like it. We'll be right back. Join us for the 2015 Savannah Food and Wine Festival, November 9th through the 15th. Plenty of tickets still available at SavannahFoodAndWinefest.com. Elizabeth on 37th is, without question, Savannah's largest culinary icon. In 1981, Elizabeth Terry set up shop here in the corner of Drayton and 37th Streets in Savannah's Victorian District and went on to become the city's first James Beard Award winner. America knows about this fabulous restaurant, but sometimes it's actually lost on the locals.
I think it's because maybe we were one of the first, and so people keep that in their mind. Oh, Elizabeth, you know, whether I'm getting my hair cut or at the dentist, oh, I've heard of that. I should try that sometime. And I think, what are you waiting for, really?
For the last 20 years, Kelly Amber has been the force in this kitchen here at Elizabeth. Steady as she goes, she's turned out some of the best meals in town.
I don't get out to the dining room a lot, but my friends who are the waiters, every single night people say this is the best meal of my life. And it's funny because they always have to qualify it and say, you don't understand, I'm from New York, or you don't understand, I'm from LA, I know food.
That all plays into the stigma surrounding this beautiful yet very simple restaurant. Because it was one of the first, there's a belief sometimes that it is the most expensive or maybe the most pretentious in Savannah. I can tell you it is neither. Just because it's some of the most consistent in the area doesn't mean you have to pronounce all kinds of fancy ingredients. It also doesn't mean you have to break the bank to eat here, not at all. That steak down the street everyone loves so much is quite a bit more expensive than this restaurant. Those are just facts.
We're off the beaten path, and I can understand that, but we certainly hold our own. And it's great, and it's not because we're doing anything fussy. It's just, I think our flavors speak for themselves, and we put a lot of thought into what we're putting on the plate. But we're still lucky. We still get the press all the time. USA Today, New York Times, and I think it's great that we have restaurants like the Gray that have opened up.
Kelly has also seen and enjoyed the growth in Savannah and is as excited as anyone else to see what has happened in this city.
It is. I think the more wonderful restaurants that we have, the better. And it's more fun for a night off as well to go out and try something new. The Collins Quarter and the Wild, and we hadn't been out in a while, and both places the food was excellent. I liked the fact that they had nice small menus. I get a little skeptical just because I've run a kitchen for so long when I see a huge menu. I think, how fresh can everything be? But their menus were small and thoughtful, and it seemed like just well thought out, and the food was great atmosphere.
She says, and it's hard to disagree, that a growing food scene has to be about more than just great places to eat out.
Well, there is, and I think not only in the restaurant scene, but I mean, look at our grocery stores, Smith Brothers and Lucky Market and Whole Foods. I mean, the Savannah that I moved to would not have been able to not only support it, but I don't think there was the interest or the knowledge.
Which is why she spent so much time over the years cooking for some rather large events, but in other cities.
I do think the focus has changed because we used to be invited to festivals. That was our way of getting our name out. We cooked at the Plaza Hotel, we cooked in Kansas City, Memphis, I mean, let's see, California, in the wine country. Just we've been invited to cook all these different places. And you only have so much time in a year to do those events because we're a really busy restaurant.
Now, because of the growth of events like the Savannah Food and Wine Festival, she can participate with some of the best in the city as well as the South, and only have to drive back home to Tybee Island afterward.
So now it's nice that we can do them at home, and people are coming here for that. And Savannah's getting guest chefs from around the country, up-and-coming chefs, and I'd love to see that it's turned. Savannah does have a lot of different events, especially philanthropic events. We do a fundraiser for my son's school on Tybee, different things. Like I said, we only have so much time, and we have to schedule things in. But this is really important, and I think it's going to be wonderful. It's a great group of chefs to be included in, and we're really excited.
Welcome back to Eat It and Like It. You know we've spent a good amount of time this week talking about the city's biggest week in great food, the Savannah Food and Wine Festival. One more reminder, for information on how you can participate in some events for as little as $35. Check out eatitandlikeit.com right now.
Eat it and like it.